Most recent COVID deaths are elderly residents. Leaked document says Premier ordered HSA members on leave. Arnold AINSLEY appointed Accountant General. Phase 1 of King Garden Bay Treatment Plant near completion. Honorable FRASER says Premier will call snap election. Tourist Board holds press breakfast. New tourist satisfaction kiosks launched. The Horsemen, the Legacy, 1 year later. All these and more when 284 returns.
Live stream cable TV is here with CCT Live. Access over 80 channels that you can watch either at home or when you're on the go. And don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Rewind and watch in your own time. Come to CCT today and ask about our 1-month free trial offer. CCT Live. Bring it home.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Welcome everybody, it's finally Friday, February 4th, 2022. I'm Nia Douglas coming to you live from the beautiful British Virgin Islands. Thank you so much for joining us. Starting off today's news, the territory's 2 most recent COVID-related deaths have been identified as 2 elderly persons, meaning that all 9 COVID-related deaths for the year 2022 have all been among senior residents. This was revealed in a recent media release from the Ministry of Health, which said that the total number of deaths as a result of COVID in the BVI now stands at 51. The 2 deceased were listed as a 98-year-old male who died on January 28th and a 69-year-old male who died on January 30th. Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Ronald Georges, while disclosing that the active cases in the BVI at the time of the release stood at 181, continued to encourage residents to get inoculated. He said developing immunity through vaccination will reduce the risk of severe disease, particularly among the vulnerable who are more at risk of more severe disease and complications of COVID-19. Dr. Georges also outlined the various categories of persons who are at risk of developing serious symptoms of COVID due to underlying conditions. These, he said, include older or elderly adults and people with underlying medical conditions, such as asthma, hypertension, diabetes, pulmonary, liver, or kidney disease, as well as those who have immunocompromised conditions, such as persons on treatment for cancer or who are on immunoresponsive medications. In other news, a leaked document bearing Premier Andrew Foy's apparent signature has revealed that the Premier was directly at the helm of the recent sacking of 2 senior BVI Health Services Authority staff members, following serious allegations of fraud and gross misconduct. The discovery of the leaked document, which also bears the official logo of the Office of the Premier, comes after the Premier recently denied having knowledge of details relating to the incident. Our Kamal Haynes has the story.
According to the document, which was addressed to the Minister for Health and Social Development, Carvin Malone, the Premier's decision to sack the 2 senior officials stems from compelling allegations of fraud and gross misconduct that were reported in an October 2021 preliminary audit report on the BVI Health Services Authority's payroll. In December 2021, the 2 officials were placed on administrative leave with full pay pending the outcome of a forensic audit, which was also instructed by the Premier. In addition, the Premier also instructed that action be taken to immediately secure all documents and evidence from being tampered with or destroyed. Well, he said, and I quote, "Well, this action should include securing the offices and workspaces of the officers who are to be placed on administrative leave and ensuring that those persons are not allowed to enter the building without a security escort and in such instance only to collect personal property." End quote. Well, in the document, which was dated December 3rd, the Premier wrote that he was extremely troubled by the findings of the report and to the discovery that the internal auditor who conducted the report was placed on administrative leave by the administrative team of the BVI Health Services Authority following the release of her report. The Premier said, and I quote, "I am extremely disturbed by the findings and the other contents of the report, especially as these relate to alleged findings of gross misconduct and fraud by senior officials of the BVI Health Services Authority and other employees, as well as a strong possibility that the scope of this alleged maladministration and fraud may be much wider than what the internal auditor has been able to detect in her limited investigations." End quote. In the letter, the Premier further indicated that the nature of the allegations gave him no other choice but to act in the name of good and responsible governance. Well, he therefore instructed Minister Malone that, and I quote, "the chairman and board of the BVI Health Services Authority be directed to immediately have commenced a forensic audit into the finances and expenditure of the BVI HSA, inclusive of but not limited to the payroll system, procurement practices, and financial management systems." End quote. The Premier said this decision is to determine the veracity of the findings of the audit report and to ensure that any systematic problems are identified for treatment, as the report suggested may exist. The leader of government business also instructed the minister to have the chairman and the board of the Health Services Authority immediately reinstate the internal auditor to her job and have her suspension expunged. Premier Foy warned that if his instructions were not implemented, he would be compelled to forward the preliminary audit report to the Commissioner of Police and call for a criminal investigation into the alleged matters. The leaked document was also copied to the Financial Secretary, Permanent Secretary in the Premier's Office, Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, and to the Chairman of the Board of the BVI Health Services Authority. When 284 News contacted Premier Foy for a comment on the matter late Wednesday, he said he would respond on the subject matter the following day. However, there was no other comment received by the Premier up until the publication of the article. Well, meanwhile, leader of the opposition Marlon Penn raised serious issues regarding the information revealed from the leaked document. He said neither the Premier of the Virgin Islands nor the Minister of Health has any authority to instruct or direct a statutory board. Penn said the overreach by the Premier and the Minister are serious corporate governance issues that are part of the reason why the BVI was summoned to undergo a commission of inquiry.
Where you have a letter written by the Premier on the 3rd of December, and I happen to find that letter somewhere along the roadside, where he gave directives to the Minister Honorable Calvin Malone and copied the FS, the PS, both PSs in the Ministry of Premier's Office, the Ministry of Health, and the Chairman of the Board of Health Services Authority. The Premier has no authority to give directives to the board or to the Minister to give directives to the board about handling and management, about day-to-day management of the board. These are serious corporate governance issues that we continue to see, even in the heart of a commission inquiry. We're still usurping the legislations that we're supposed to address and maintain as legislators and going behind the board's back. And it goes back to the competence of these boards. The board should not engage the Premier because there's a process, there's a governance process in terms of how the boards are managed and should be run. And there's a process in which things should be done as it relates to body corporates and how they operate. Again, we raise these issues. These are issues of concern. And we raise them because it's important. Because these decisions and these actions have implications for us as a territory.
Penn said these and other similar actions are all evidence of how this present government continue to mismanage the territory. I am Kamal Haynes reporting for 284 News.
Up next, a new accountant general has been appointed. This story and more after a word from our sponsors.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a brand new season of The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. It doesn't always involve suits and, bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. This season, I'm taking you on an entirely different journey. From chefs to dancers, philanthropists, communications specialists, and much more. I'm heading outside in the field to share the journey of some of the BVI's best and brightest men. From East End to West End, Bojangara, Jackson Lake, not forgetting Antigata. Our Virgin Islands gentlemen are doing the damn thing, and I'm so proud. Get ready to reason, reflect, and redirect. We are the movers and shakers of this generation, and we ain't afraid to show it. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 3 by yours truly, Ron Grant, raising a generation of greatness.
Welcome back, viewers. According to a government press release, Mr. Arnold AINSLEY has been appointed Accountant General in the Treasury Department of the Government of the Virgin Islands. This appointment will go into effect on January 24th for a period of 2 years. As Accountant General, Mr. AINSLEY will oversee the design, development, and implementation of improvements to the government's accounting system to ensure proper accounts are maintained and advise the Financial Secretary on government investment opportunities to ensure maximum financial returns are achieved, among other responsibilities. According to the release, the acting Financial Secretary, Mr. Jeremiah Frett, said he is pleased to have Mr. AINSLEY join the public service as Accountant General to utilize his skill set for the further improvement of the functions and activities of the Treasury Department. Mr. Frett said that his extensive experience in the financial sector, as well as with the International Monetary Fund's Caribbean Regional Technical Assistance Center, CARTAC, will serve as a benefit in his position as Accountant General. Mr. AINSLEY has a bachelor's degree in management studies from the University of the West Indies in Kingston, Jamaica, and an MBA in finance from the Manchester Business School in the United Kingdom. He is affiliated with the Certified General Accountants Canada, Association of Chartered Certified Accountants United Kingdom, and Chartered Professional Accountants Canada. He is also a certified internal auditor, and is said to have extensive experience in public financial management. Mr. AINSLEY's prior experience includes working as a consultant at the Treasury Department, which the government says makes him familiar with the operations of the Treasury Department and the statutes that govern it. It is also noted in the release that Mr. AINSLEY was instrumental in completing the 2017 financial statements and is advanced in the completion of the 2018 and 2019 statements. In other news, the first phase of construction works on the wastewater treatment plant in Kingarden Bay is said to be almost completed. The wastewater treatment plant project is in keeping with the Government of the Virgin Islands program to implement the fats, oils, and grease policy to address the direct or indirect discharge of wastewater and waste into the sewer system. In a recent government release, project manager in the Ministry of Transportation, Works and Utilities, Mr. Bernard Grant, said the first phase included the demolition, establishing, and commissioning of a temporary treatment plant and civil works, which entails the construction of a substructure and a superstructure that is nearing completion. Grant added the second phase of works will include the installation of equipment, testing, and commissioning of the new treatment plant, and then finally the decommissioning of the temporary treatment plant. Officials say the construction phase of this project is expected to last 9 months, or until June 2022, and thank the residents of the Kingarden Bay community for their patience and understanding during this critical upgrade. Up next, Honorable Julian Fraser says the Premier will call election before August 2022. Stay tuned.
Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
The wait is over! CCT Fire is here! Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire, bring it home and upgrade today.
Brilliant Hands and Minds tutoring services, one-on-one tutorials in math and English, intense homework assistance, academic enrichment, school projects, effective communication and public speaking development, sign language for adults and children on Saturdays only. Registered with the Virgin Islands High School Certificate Program, Brilliant Hands and Minds can help you too. Offering intense curriculum-based training to help you or your loved ones get their high school diploma. It's time to make your family's education a #1 priority. Hurry, space is limited. Brilliant Hands and Minds Learning Center. We are the trained education professionals.
Thanks for sticking with us. Senior opposition legislator Honorable Julian Fraser has expressed confidence in his belief that Premier Andrew Foy will be calling a snap election in the British Virgin Islands. The member for the 3rd Electoral District made this statement during a recent press conference where he said that he believes the Premier will make the decision before the end of August 2022. Take a look.
All the members said is, this is the last year of this Virgin Islands party government. You could look at the Constitution. The last election was February 25th, 2019. 4 years down the road, everybody's going to start campaigning before that time comes. And if this Premier has his way, I can see based on the things that he is doing, he's going to call a snap election. And it's going to be before August. Open your eyes and watch what's going on. That's all we are saying. This is the last year of this administration.
On the subject of elections, a question was posed on whether Fraser and 2nd District Representative Honorable Melvin Mitch Turnbull would join forces as one political party and support the opposition leader Marlon Penn as the next premier in the upcoming general elections. Turnbull responded by stating that the 3 members presently stand united as the opposition, but said time will tell whether any further decisions are made, which he said is dependent upon the calling of elections.
We stand united as the members of our loyal opposition, Her Majesty's loyal opposition, to represent the voices, the needs, and the concerns of the people of the Virgin Islands. That's what we stand here, and we sit in this room, in the House of Assembly, and when we go out to our constituents and the wider Virgin Islands, that's what we stand united to do. There is no question about that. We stand united. The Honorable Marlon A. Penn is the leader of the opposition. The member for the 3rd is the senior member of the House who sits on the opposition, as well as myself. Transitioning that to premiership or not premiership, Zan, you skipped a major step, which I think I need to bring you back on. There needs to be an election called. Now, I'm going back to the beginning of your statement. This is indeed the last year of this administration. It needed to be last year, in my opinion, but this is indeed the last year of this administration. But this is indeed a democratic society where we have elections. Elections are called. Each one of us on this platform forms and stands with a different party. Whatever happens during the election, that's where the people will decide. If it happens to come to a decision where it is Honorable Fraser, myself, or the leader of the opposition, currently Honorable Marlon Penn, and that decision, we will deal with that at that time. But our focus now is to hold the government to account, is to address the issues that are affecting the people of the Virgin Islands and make sure that is brought to the forefront. And when we...
According to the Virgin Islands Constitution, the governor shall dissolve the House of Assembly at the expiration of 4 years from the date when the House first meets after any general election, unless it has been dissolved sooner. After the House is dissolved, a general election can be held between 21 days and 2 months from the dissolution date. This ultimately means that unless Premier Andrew Foy calls the general election before the end of his 4 years in office, March 12, 2023, will be the last possible date to dissolve the House of Assembly. This will give a period between 21 days and 2 months to pick an election date, meaning elections can be called as late as May 2023 if it goes down to the final days. Presently, Her Majesty's loyal opposition comprises 4 members from 3 political parties. They are the National Democratic Party, which consists of the opposition leader, Penn, and member for the 4th District, Mark Vanterpool, Progressive United with FRASER, and Progressive Virgin Islands Movement with Turnbull. Also in today's news, this morning, members of the media were treated to breakfast by the BVI Tourist Board at the Wyndham Lambert Beach Resort. Influencers and representatives from television, radio, and print media outlets were given a brief update on recent and future Tourist Board initiatives, after which there was a period of mingling and networking with the purpose of fostering a positive relationship between the Tourist Board and the press. Director of the BVI Tourist Board, Mr. Clive McCoy, highlighted that the BVI welcomed 18,000 overnight guests to its shores in 2021. Additionally, he noted several recent projects that the Tourist Board have completed, including the construction of lookouts in Virgin Gorda and constructing signs on each island. Mr. McCoy explained that future projects include constructing a sign for Jos van Dyke and a robust marketing campaign with more #BVI Love integrated into the BVI's branding. This marketing campaign will hopefully coincide with the 2023 tourist seasons. As the director noted, many in the wider tourism industry feel that in 2023, the market should return back to some sense of normalcy. Up next, new kiosk machines will be placed across the BVI, aimed at monitoring tourist satisfaction. Stay tuned.
Live stream cable TV is here with CCT Live. Access over 80 channels that you can watch either at home or when you're on the go. And don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Rewind and watch in your own time. Come to CCT today and ask about our 1-month free trial offer. CCT Live. Bring it home.
Welcome back to 284 News. At the Tourist Board breakfast this morning, it was announced that there will be new kiosk machines aimed at gauging tourist satisfaction and placed at ports of entry across the BVI. The machine asks users to rate their satisfaction with their BVI vacation experience, their excitement for future BVI vacations, and other questions in the event of dissatisfied responses. After recent training initiatives carried out by the Tourist Board, the machines will also be used to measure how well those trainings are working. The Tourist Board says they're hoping to launch these new kiosk machines in February, around Valentine's Day, to show the BVI some love. In other news, as the 1-year anniversary of the death of Rodney Simmons Sr. and Bob Earl Hodge approaches, 284 Media takes this time to reflect on the life and legacy of both men, who were both murdered separately. The impact of their untimely departure remains evident in the Virgin Islands community. 284's Ron Grant has more.
It's been said that horse racing is the sport of kings. When one reflects on the life and legacy and contributions of Rodney Mileage Simmons Sr. of the Boys Stables and Bob Earl Hodge of Ellenby Stables, they could only be classified as kings. 1 year later, we remember Rodney Simmons and Bob Earl Hodge and their legacy, life, and contributions to the sport of horse racing. When the announcement of the separate deaths of both horsemen Simmons and Hodge broke on February 5th, 2021, Simmons, and February 9th, 2021, Hodge, not only were family and friends shocked, but an entire community of horsemen and horse race enthusiasts from the USVI, Caribbean, and US mainland were left in total and utter disbelief. For decades, the two had contributed significantly to the sport of horse racing and were always key players amongst the local and regional sporting circle. Not only did they compete, but they played an integral role in the development and maintaining of the sport in the BVI and USVI. Simmons and Hodge were always key players, and both men, along with their teams, would use personal funds to contribute to make sure the track and paddock had simple essentials like restrooms or the resurfacing of the track, contributions you'd never hear about. Other major contributors towards the sport, track upkeep, and management included the Lake family of Family Affairs Stable, Les Moore Smith of Top Priority Stables, and others. While Simmons had an introduction to horse racing through his father, the late Mark E. Simmons, who contributed to the sport in various capacities, he developed his own love and passion for the sport from a very young age and competed at every level of the sport throughout his time as a horseman. His first horse was Mr. Work, and he went on to own other prize-winning horses such as Leave It to Burn, Broken Home, Special Counsel, Chauvinist, Apollo Sky, East End Tap, Stevens Got Better, among others. Believe it or not, Rodney was actually allergic to horses, says a family member, but that did not keep him from involving himself in the sport. Rodney loved to compete, said BVI Horse Owners Association president and longtime colleague Lesmore Smith of Top Priority Stables in an invited comment. Smith continued by saying, "It was never personal. He just loved the sport. Rodney would buy a horse just so we had horses to compete in our local horse race. He loved to win, but he didn't have a problem accepting a loss. If he lost today, he would congratulate you and prepare for a comeback next time around. He was always a horseman who would travel, never afraid to purchase a horse. He was never afraid to challenge a race or get involved in a race. Win or lose, he gave the people 100% sportsmanship every time."
And they come running over start again.
Smith also uttered similar sentiments about Bob Hodge. He said, "Bob and Letty were always key players. They loved and understood the sport and were never afraid to invest in it. At one point, Bob and Letty Hodge took up the mantle of leadership in trying to keep the track up and running when Mrs. Hodge served as president of the BVI Horse Owners Association. Bob, alongside his wife Letty Hodge and their team at L&B Stables, created quite a catalog of prize-winning horses over the years, like Expectation, which has been considered the greatest hero Hodge ever had. Others included Rally Uptown, Doughmaker, Ugly Betty, among others." In speaking of the significant loss to the sport, Smith said, and I quote, "The loss of Mileage and Bob to horse racing is a tremendous loss, and horse racing will never be the same without them both. It's a major setback for the sport. They were two of the main persons I know who were never afraid to support the sport in every possible way. Over the years, both horsemen also rallied for the passing of the Gaming Act, which they strongly believe to be the driving force to propel the sport and allow for greater investment among owners and fans."
And now for some international news. The United States Army announced on Wednesday that they will immediately begin to discharge soldiers who refuse to be vaccinated for COVID-19. Soldiers who are discharged under these circumstances will not be eligible for involuntary separation pay, the Army said. According to the U.S. military's COVID-19 vaccination mandate issued by the Secretary of Defense in August 2021, all military personnel, including the Navy and Marine Corps, are required to be vaccinated. All branches of the military were given a deadline to be vaccinated by the end of 2021, with the exception of the Coast Guard and Army. The Coast Guard were expected to get vaccinated immediately as soon as operations allow, whereas the Army Reserve and National Guard has until June of 2022. In spite of the June deadline for soldiers who refused the vaccine entirely, their time serving their country has come to an end. That's it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for daily news updates at 284media.com and like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Nia Douglas. I'll see you again tomorrow as we deliver your daily dose of local, regional, and international content. 284 News, your source for honest and impartial news right here on 284 Media. Happy Friday, everybody. Have a great evening.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
How may I assist you? Yes. You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top up or what?